What do an obscure 90s rock band, a high schooler's dance career, the disappearance of a young woman, and our 13th president all have in common? Nothing. But today on Stray Rats, we're going to take a look at all of them. We all know Johnny Depp is a famous pirate, but some of us also know him as a budding musician. Here's to talk about more. This is Brooke Holzhauer. How are you, Brooke?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm very intrigued about your love for Johnny Depp and kind of how vocal you are about it, especially recently. So what kind of started that love and admiration for him?
Well, I knew who he was and some movies he acted in when I was a child, but I didn't really know who he was fully.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know details about him or his life. So beginning of last year, when the trial was going on,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of I watched it every day after school because my mom had it on the TV, Court TV. Shout out to you. Make that happen. But anyway, yeah. So every day after school, I'd watch that, and I was like, yeah.
Yeah. So that started it all, huh?
Yeah.
So as a kid, were you would you watch a lot of Johnny Depp movies? Or
Not
just...
really. No.
Interesting. I watched a ton of them. My dad was a huge fan, so that's how we kind of got our introduction to Johnny Depp. But
Edward Scissorhands. That's one of my
really?
childhood movies that I love. But anyway, sorry to cut you off.
I never could watch Edward Scissorhands because I would always get scared because he looked a little janky, a little scary looking. But so this album, so talk to me about the album.
So last year, Johnny Depp and Jeff Beck came out with an album. They named it 18 because on the album cover, it's Jeff and Johnny drawn as they were 18 years old. And they kind of joked around saying oh, I feel like I'm 18 again making this album, and that's why they named it that. The whole album has some covers and some original songs, but it's mostly all cover songs. To name a few, there's The Death and Resurrection Show, Venus in Furs, and What's Going On. So, yeah.
One of the songs that you referred to me, I really enjoyed listening to it. You know, it gave me very much a kind of 60s kind of atmosphere, Paul Anka kind of inspiration. And then I found out that Jeff Beck was in the Yardbirds, and that was really, really interesting to me because I love the Yardbirds. I've listened to quite a few of their songs to help me study and stuff like that. So that was something that I was always really interested in. And it was really interesting to see that kind of crossover between two very prominent people in my, I guess, pop culture sphere.
Yeah.
But so Jack Sparrow. So, I mean, I've been obsessed with Jack Sparrow for a while. That was a huge thing in my childhood. I loved his charisma and stuff like that. And the rum addiction was funny. So I always found that really funny. But talk about some things about Jack Sparrow. What does he mean to you?
So I only recently watched all of the movies. So I watched all 5 of the movies. Then I found out he might not be returning to the 6th one because for some reason they're making a 6th one. I don't know if that's a really good idea. Me personally, I only like the first 3.
Yeah,
I think the last 2 were really not that good. I could have went without seeing them.
Yeah.
Although still Jack Sparrow was good in the movie. It was just the premise of them just wasn't interesting.
No, I agree 100%. As soon as Orlando Bloom kind of left and so did Keira Knightley after the 3rd one, I was that's kind of who I was there for. Obviously Johnny Depp as well, but they took away a major kind of critical presence in the storyline that I didn't even get too far into the 4th movie. I think I just turned it off halfway through.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, Johnny Depp, he's just a very interesting character. He's very multifaceted and multi-talented. He's been in the industry for ages. So many different people he's been involved with. So what are some of your overall just encompassing thoughts about Johnny Depp as a person?
I think he's a very creative person. I think even now he makes his own artwork. He paints a lot. He has his own little studio that he paints in. He has NFTs online.
Oh, God.
So literally his paintings are NFTs, and that's pretty interesting this day and age that we have that. But I also just want to mention about the music again that also his style is very cool, and I definitely he's one of my inspirations for my style and my music and everything like that. But back to the music, he did a cover of Isolation by John Lennon.
Yes.
And it's amazing. I mean I have never really seen that as a cover before. He was like the first one that I've seen that's done a cover of it, and I just think it was really, really cool. And Jeff Beck is great on guitar. Rest in peace to him, by the way. But yeah, so that, and also the Death and Resurrection show by Killing Joke, I think is the original people. He did really good on that as well. And I got to see both of those, or I think, yeah, both of those live in October. And I got to meet him too. So that was great.
That's so cool. That's really great that you got the experience.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Brooke.
Yeah, no problem.
When we come back, we'll transition from rock to metal here on Stray Rats.
Bring it.
Time out, guys. I'm late to dinner. My mom's gonna kill me. Catch you guys later.
Mom wants us home. Okay. Bye, guys. You guys need a ride?
Sure. Yeah. All right. How about some one-on-one?
I gotta go eat, man. Sorry, I'll see you later.
Welcome back to Stray Rats. Right now, a band that has a very unique way of expressing themselves and their fan, John Murphy. Hi, John.
Hi.
So, tell me a little bit about this band of yours.
I think they formed in like 97, 98. Either that, it was one of those. It's like a, I don't know how to describe it. It's like, it's a very unique way of music. It's called, like, they're metallic, it's drone metal. So like the whole point is like, it's like a, like one singular note will drone out for like several minutes.
Oh.
They get the name from a defunct brand of amplifiers, which they use. The most recognizable model being like a Model T. They're really hard. Like you can still get models in them to this day, but I found one time for like 5,000. They're like you can buy them, but you have to like break the bank.
Yeah, just a little bit. But so you mentioned that they have like really, really long songs. What are some of their longest?
I was showing one off stage.
Offset,
Yeah. That was like 19 minutes from their demo.
Goodness. I can't even imagine, like, I personally don't even have like the capacity to even listen to something for 19 minutes, but that's incredible.
It's weird. Like I already have ADHD, which makes it very hard to pay attention. It was like I can listen to this all the way through, which is really confusing.
No, but it's really interesting. And so how did you discover some?
Because I started like looking into more obscure metallic stuff, because I started to really really listen to metal like last year. So I kind of found them on accident. So I was kind of like, oh, all right, this sounds a bit interesting. I'll check it out. I started to really listen to them. I was like, okay, this is pretty good. The droning stuff, it's kind of, I was like, oh, singular note will drone out for several minutes. Yeah, and I think the way they perform is really weird too. Like they use robes. They have like these giant stacks of amps. They use ton of effects. So, like they use fuzz, reverb, which is how they get some of that more like droning sound. Yeah, that sounds like such a really cool way and like a really just entertaining thing to watch, especially from something like a 19-minute song. Obviously, you're gonna need entertainment, but I think it's a really interesting way to operate things. And so you just mentioned that they finished touring recently, right? You said that a little bit earlier. So what was that like? Like, do you know what their the scope of their tour was? Did you see them by any chance? No, this is shirts. I'm pretty sure this is a bootleg. It's it's not like someone probably took the design and just scanned it onto another shirt. like it says Brooklyn on the back, but I didn't get to see that unfortunately, because it would have been really interesting.
That would have been really cool. After the break, we're going to take a deeper dive into conspiracy theories over the years, here on Stray Rats.
If you're thinking about whether or not you're sober enough to drive, you aren't! Otherwise, why would you be thinking about it, huh? Probably okay isn't okay when it comes to drinking and driving.
Bye-bye.
Hi! Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him. Hi, I'm a warning sign. I let people know when they're, oh, gotta go.
I'll be right back.
Hi.
Conspiracy theories have taken a huge spike in popularity in recent years. Today on set, we have our resident conspiracy theorist. Hi, Jasira.
Hey.
So you've always been very vocal about your love of conspiracy theories
Very.
and kind of, creepy crawly stuff. We've
Yeah.
watched a lot of BuzzFeed Unsolved together, us and Brooke.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the Elisa Lam case.
Okay, so this one is a very good one to me. So first, it starts up in 2013, right? Elisa Lam is first generation, girl, and this is the first time she's going out. I think she was 23.
Yeah.
And she goes to Los Angeles to kind of take her mind off and have some freedom and stuff like that. And she's been going through a lot in her years and stuff like that, with her bipolar disorder and stuff. So on the night that she disappeared and stuff like that, she actually wrote different things on different social media and stuff like Tumblr. And what happened was that she disappeared. And usually, she had her parents who were there for her, and they were like, oh, we're just going to call you and stuff like
And
that.
they're very close.
Yeah, very close, called every single night. Well, she didn't that one night and then kept on going. So they were wondering, where is she? So then after that, on the other side, it's she went missing and stuff like that. And we were wondering, where is she? And after that, it actually ties into the hotel because of the fact that, the Cecil Hotel. Because people in the hotel were like, oh my gosh, the water, it's getting dirty. I don't like brown water, which who would like brown water? So then after that, it's just be oh, we have to check out. So they checked out, the vents and stuff like that, like the water in the tank, and they found a body. And after they realized it was her body. Now, what makes it scary is not only that, they had elevator footage and stuff like that, but that's a whole different thing. The fact that she was able to get in there, and it took 3 large men, construction worker men, to actually get in there. So how did she get in there?
Yeah, it's a very, it was a very heavy tanker, right?
Yeah.
And so it just doesn't make sense for her to have fully been able to just, in an inebriated state, also get into the tank and just not be able to find her way. It doesn't make any sense.
Because she wasn't even on her medication when that happened.
Yeah.
She wasn't on medication or anything.
I feel so bad. And you said you viewed her Tumblr and stuff like that.
Yeah, so during this time, I was like, let me view her Tumblr, because they were talking about how she always vlogged on there and stuff like that. And during that time, her last update, I think she was talking about how she met a guy and she was ready to see him. And then after that, coincidentally, when she said around the time she did that, this footage from the elevator, the police didn't want them to see it, of course, LAPD.
LAPD.
They didn't want people to see it, but after that, the investigation started getting a lot of,
Buzz.
A lot of buzz. So they decided to let's see it. And after they showed the footage to everybody, people were freaking out because the same day that she went missing, the same day with the Tumblr, it was this elevator when she was like, oh, I'm gonna go here, go there. It was very creepy. It looks like she was hiding from someone almost. And then after that, she disappears for the rest of it. Last time anyone sees her.
But the Cecil Hotel has been notorious for this,
Yeah.
because even things like the Black Dahlia murder have been linked to the Cecil Hotel, and that in itself has so many conspiracy theories that we really can't get into because it's so much. But a big part of conspiracy theories that one of my favorite conspiracy theories is about Jack the Ripper.
Oh, I heard about that. Can you tell me about that? I heard about something about Jack the Ripper being a woman. You got to tell me about that.
So essentially, Jack the Ripper, his major crimes were that he would disembowel women, and it was like very graphic, very scary, late 1800s London. So it's very jarring for people to hear this. It was like women popping up all over London. And so a big conspiracy theory that I think makes a lot of sense is that Jack the Ripper wasn't actually a man, because they were all looking for men. Jack the Ripper was a woman, because the way that these murders were committed, he would have to have been splattered in blood. And the only people who could go around splattered in blood back then were midwives. So if Jack the woman, with his surgical knowledge and all that, was a midwife, it would make a lot of sense.
Jacqueline.
And so, Jacqueline!
Jacqueline!
Jack the Ripper.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, conspiracy theories are just such a huge part of our lives,
Yeah.
really.
Honestly, I was thinking about spaghetti when you said the only people who can go out is like midwives spaghetti with like kind of bakers. So yeah, I really like them.
When we come back, we'll talk about a certain someone's dance career. You won't want to miss it.
My son Andrew was always a joy to be around. I always taught him to be accepting of other people. That's why when Andrew was suddenly fired from his teaching job for being gay, my heart just broke. As a parent, how do you prepare your child for something like that? I hope we get to a place where people will be treated with respect, equality, and love.
Since middle school, Shane Crane has been a popular name, especially around homecoming season. Today, he graced us with his presence on set. Hi, Shane.
What's up?
Nothing much. I'm just very excited to hear about your dancing career and all this, like, all the...
To be honest with you, I'm just getting old. I feel like I've been doing this for way too long, but I'm happy to still do what I do, you know?
No, it's great. It always adds excitement.
Yeah.
I mean, you were the Wildcat this year for the pep rally.
Yeah. How to just bring more attention and try to, like, spice some things up, I guess.
Yeah, so when did you start dancing?
As much people will say, like, I started in 8th grade in, like, a small, like, circle of like a dance circle. I want to say I started back in 7th grade when I was in my old school, because that was the first time I went to an actual dance.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And so were you kind of like same thing, kind of like middle of the circle?
There was no such thing as a circle when I went there, so it was kind of more of like I did my thing and people just watched, like how a lot of people still do it nowadays, but it's just simple, like there wasn't a circle to start.
Oh my goodness, and here's the chorus concert.
Yep. This is 8th grade, I can tell you that.
We see little Theodore there. You see Theodore?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
To put in context of this video, the chorus teacher saw my dancing one day at lunch, because I remember a whole crowd of people wanted me to dance on stage, and she asked me if I want to have a dance solo during the concert.
And that was a fantastic solo. I remember it. And so like you have a lot of memories associated with these kinds of things, right? So like what would you say was your favorite one, like out of all of these memories?
My favorite memory? I mean, with a lot of stuff, like even for you can say like you can't really have like one favorite moment.
Yeah.
There's like any moment I can say I enjoyed every last bit of it, but I have to say my senior year, because this year, I'm sorry to say like senior year, I'm getting too old for this. Basically, what it felt like was that I was more of like a celebrity. I felt famous. I felt like a part of someone, because I remember like little kids would come up to me like, hey, can we take a photo with you?
Oh,
hey, can we have a
cool.
group photo? And I will be like the center of attention.
That's so cool. And so like
And this time I didn't have the mascot on.
Oh yeah, really? So like even just
Yeah,
Crane.
I would just show up at the dance with a red flannel shirt and just popped off.
That's so great. And so like this is one of my questions actually.
Yeah.
What are some of the reactions you usually get like with this?
As I said, the senior homecoming dance, I had the photos, but majority of the time it's like chanting my name. It's more about saying I love you over and over again.
And so this was freshman year, right?
Yep, this is freshman year. This is when it all started.
And nothing has
Ish.
changed.
Yep.
It's been the
That's my
exact
high
same.
school spotlight right there. That's
Well,
how it started.
you kind of single-handedly won us like during a pep rally last year. Juniors won best class because everyone was going Shane Crane, Shane Crane, and so that really helped
Which
us
is
win.
funny to me, because in my definition, I feel like that was the only time I won a dance competition. Freshman year, I theoretically didn't win, and then senior year, there was like no declared winner. So
I think you were a winner every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what else.
Except
to say.
sophomore. Sophomore year, there was no pep rally.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
We know why.
Even then, in our hearts.
Yeah.
In our hearts. Thank you so much. Shane.
Yeah. Well, actually, can I do something real quick?
Oh.
Your companion is also right there, right?
Oh my goodness, yes.
But I also brought my own souvenir if you guys want to see.
When did you put that there?
Like, you see the shirt here? This is the shirt that I started with in the high school.
Oh my goodness.
Freshman year. You got the Toon Squad shirt. This is the shirt I wore 8th grade, 9th grade. I think maybe my junior year, I'm not entirely sure, and that's it. And I just kept it on.
That's a relic. You have to get that framed.
Signature, sell it.
Yeah, honestly. All right, well, after the break, we'll take a look at some history behind the U.S. presidency, right here on Stray Rats.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
We're officially on to the last segment now. Within minutes, this show will be history. So I actually have something I want to do here. I want to bring out my little friend. His name is Rowdy, and he's going to accompany Theodore and I as we discuss our final topic. Speaking of which, resident historian Theodore Fernandez is in the house.
I wrote that tease, and I'm very happy with the way it turned out. I think you delivered the lines well, and I'm very excited to talk history with you tonight.
Thank you, thank you. I'm very excited as well. I mean, we have quite a few similar topics that we are very interested in.
Yes,
Millard
we do.
Fillmore.
Yeah, that was one of the ones we floated out in the beginning. 13th
Yeah.
president, married to his teacher, died eating a bowl of soup. He's had a good
died
life.
eating a bowl of soup?
Yeah, those were his last words, talking about how good the bowl of soup was. But in the end, it killed him. So, interesting story there.
Good soup.
Very
I
good
mean,
soup.
I personally know him very well because he is a lawyer and he was in Buffalo. And those are two very common aspects in my personal life.
Well, you know what else happened to a president in Buffalo?
What?
William McKinley was shot and killed at a lunch media event in Buffalo, New York.
Okay.
Yeah. No,
I didn't know that.
You did not know. That's supposed to be your city.
What
you're supposed to know
a
all the
history my city has.
It really does, and not football history though. Your team there is not.
No,
doing
but
much.
Millard Fillmore actually was a Bills fan, so I don't even want to hear it.
I
He
see, I
actually
see.
said the second thing he said before he died was, "I love the Bills, Bills Mafia, Josh Allen, fantastic."
I think he was so heartbroken by all their playoff losses that's what killed him, right?
Oh my God. Well, speaking of killing presidents,
Oh, okay.
let's talk about the curse of Tippecanoe.
That might be the best transition I've seen on a show in WBTV history. But
No,
yes, let's
I
talk
think
about that.
That's going to go down in history.
That
for
will,
sure.
yeah.
But the curse of Tippecanoe, curse on every president who was elected during a 0 year. You want to explain a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, look, this guy, Tecumseh, basically had his whole, people decimated by U.S. Indian attacks. And he said, first of all, absolutely random, statement to make. If you're a president and you're born in a year that's a multiple of 20, you're going to die.
Oh, yeah, it was a multiple of 20.
It was a multiple of 20. So
yeah.
1840, Tippecanoe. William Henry Harrison is elected, and no president's died before. And he decides, I don't need a jacket. I can deliver a speech in the cold. And 30 days later, he is dead. So look, that was the meaning of it. And then Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln. And
take
then
over.
I think this really continued for
Yeah.
over a century
Garfield.
until Reagan.
Garfield in 1880. McKinley, who we talked about.
You don't have to go along and name all
No, I
of
mean,
them.
I want to name drop here because
Yeah.
it happened to FDR too, and then in 1960, JFK,
Yeah,
driving
but
through Dallas.
but Reagan, I'm pretty sure broke it.
Reagan broke it, yeah.
But I believe all of the presidents still elected in a 20 multiple have had assassination
Yes.
attempts.
So that was the huge thing, when Reagan was doing his campaign, people, kept asking him, are you scared of the curse? And he kept saying no. And then while he was delivering a speech, gunman comes up and brought him within an inch of death, killed his, one of his very good friends and Secret Service agents, and Reagan very nearly was killed by him. But people say because of the fact he was able to power through and survive, that's what might have broken the curse. And fortunately,
Yeah,
no other
since
presidents
then,
yet.
just attempts, no actual.
We're in a multiple 20 right now. Joe Biden is not dead yet, thankfully.
Oh, God,
and
yeah.
We'll see if he can power through and continue to break the curse.
Yeah, well, I mean, that curse, hopefully it continues to be broken.
Yes.
But anyway,
We
thank
don't
you.
like dead presidents here.
We don't. Thank you for joining us on our very first edition of Stray Rats. Be sure to check in soon for another edition with a brand new host. For now, I'm Jaslina Lug. Stay squeaky.
I I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org.